This is the Playground Experience Sandbox Edition Live Q&A. I have my lovely co-host here, April Williams, and I have my other lovely co-host, Kathy D. And yes, we are here continuing our conversation on addiction. We know right now we got a lot of things that are coming up. We really could talk about addictions and all this other stuff that's coming up as well, current events. But we'll finish out with the addictions things too, as well. And we talked about that, and we're saying about what things are occurring as far as how we can get to the root. And unbelievable, on I say about 5 separate readers, I seen them all talk about the root, and I've seen about here even after we had spoken. So this has been really a hot topic about this root thing as far as getting to that, to clear that out collectively. And I know we have also tapered that and connected it with addictions as well. So I find it very interesting that that is really coming out in the ethers throughout the collective. That that's something that we have to address. This is one of your opinion. This is your thought on it. Why would you think that that would be something that's coming up? I know ancestral. I feel that too. Clearing of ancestral. That's my take on it. Ties that we do in the family, clearing that out, but also some things that we're making sure that we're having any kind of issues with family members, mothers, fathers, that we're making sure that we're addressing that as well. So what is your take as far as why is this collectively I'm seeing? Because I look for trends. Why is everybody also, according, what's your slant on it? Everybody's saying about this root. We got to clear the root. The root is
it's Saturn.
Okay.
Saturn's moving, and it's slow moving, and it messes with Capricorn something fierce.
Okay.
And that is ancestral, because it is so slow moving. It moves all those things with it. And that's what, we're feeling it. Everybody, all 12 zodiac, we're all feeling it. Twin flame, not twin flame,
Okay.
The cat down the street. I mean, everybody's feeling it.
Not the cat. Oh, geez. Not more.
We love you, Ralph.
I know. But yeah, and everybody's feeling it. And it's, I think it has something to do too right now with, we've had so many retrogrades. This is really one of those things. I think it's very planetary. I don't think it of course always lends itself to, the twin flame adventure. But I really think this is something that is for the whole cosmos. It's everybody going through this, no matter where you are. I was reading something. It was on Facebook or on YouTube or Instagram, or I don't know, it was in one of my little brief moments of being able to read something. And they were talking about how these changes that we were feeling are coming up for everybody. And those that are awoken are going to now be more awoken, if that's even a word. And those that aren't awake are being kind of woken up.
Woo!
And I'm just making my own words now.
It's
going. Yeah, but it's moving. So those that have, let's see, that are interested and have chosen to be woken up are, having these. But now the people that are blind to it and don't want any part of it, they're still, free will, and they're still blind to it. But so there's another wave of ascension, and I even sent it to Panita this morning. I was like, I thought it was done with this. I thought I had hit all these points. I thought from here on it was going to be a little smoother, and not so, in your face, hit a wall kind of thing. So that's kind of what I've gotten from it.
I've been feeling it in my body for sure. I don't know how about y'all. It's just a slowdown that but what's interesting is because I'm taking like all these awesome superfoods with this 30-day transformational cleanse, it's allowing for me to see the things a lot easier. Like Like, there's even like recommendations about like how to do a proper fasting to kind of flow with this type of energies because it's a lot. Like it's super heavy. And like she's saying with Saturn and all that, we're looking at what is it, the law and the deep seated stuff. So if we're tying both our in governments, right, and like what's
Mm-hmm.
not working everywhere, right, we all have the time to sit and see, oh, what we built is not a sustainable thing, and our earth is taking time to kind of clean herself off and let us all know that certain things are just not okay. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's really interesting how we're all kind of tying in and feeling the mother right now as she shifts out the last little bit of deep cleaning she's going to do for the next, I don't know how many thousands of years. But this is that deep, deep reset because we're all super conscious. We're all raising in our vibrations. We're all tapping in together. So we're all doing this energetic kind of flush, clearing, cleansing. And, it's really intense. Some of us don't really want to, but what's beautiful about it is if you can really take it in with the flow, with the ride of the consciousness, um, perhaps practicing a little bit of Dr. Sebi style dieting, just eating things consciously. That's all, as well as um, kind of letting your body speak to you instead of trying to run away from it, instead of trying to run away from the experience. Just actually, hey, what am I going through? What are we dealing with? How can I be supportive to others, just as how can I say what kind of support I need? Because I think it's almost like this is where the rubber meets the road in terms of what direction are you pulling or pushing yourself in, because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it could go either way. Sometimes you wake up down, sometimes you wake up like extremely motivated, but you still feel that pressure and you're pushing through. And so forming the right connections really really helps. Being honest about where you are and what you are. We're all going through some really tough stuff right now. It doesn't matter if yours is what you feel not as worthy enough to be heard. Everybody needs to be heard right now. Everybody needs to kind of really just stand for what they believe in and put a stop to things that they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what we're doing too, is trying to carry all the stuff that isn't really working but has been telling us and signaling for a long time, and we're just dragging it like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to change it, and you're like right there, and it's yes, yes you do, just let go of it. Just let go
Mm-hmm.
of that conversation, that connection. Because if anything, Capricorn is king and queen of the curve. They don't want to do something. It's not being done right now. They don't want to talk to you right now. It's not going to happen. That's
Yeah.
part of their aspect. They're just strong willed, strong willed.
Not, no, not today. It's not on
But
my schedule.
but with the planets and everything, it's like this is the divine ruling, right? Like this is the
Mm-hmm.
divine ruling. So this is how we actually want it to look. So if you just trust us a bit, right? Because there's a bit
Mm-hmm.
of a trust fall part of it, especially in that dreamy full moon that's coming in Pisces. That one's a super duper freaking strong one. Like it's got me thrown for a loop. But what's beautiful is it keeps me in a positive spin, whereas I've
Right.
been working on that. I've been working to keep that positive spin. If you haven't been working on it, it can be harder to grasp because of all the pressure that I feel like we're going through right now. So if you can, positive mantra yourself, whatever you got to do to get that like negative self-talk, the blinding, the stuff the excuses you're making for why you haven't lived the best life, that kind of stuff needs to just gotta let it go. Just better let it go. I'm gonna remake this one, but it is still a love TKO.
Oh yeah, Teddy P. Yes, Teddy P. Saturn is also known as like the father figure, which is like a taskmaster, like that old. I think about Daniel Boone always calls the Saturn as the old father, 50s fathers knows best. It's like, no, I said no, you can't go to the football game. Why, Daddy? Because I said so. No means no. And so it's that way. So it's really getting us at that time where we see that we can't skate around it, come up with a nice, cute excuse, smile our way out of it. It's like, no, you got to actually deal with it. That's interesting that you said that, because I got a new thing that I did. Spirit told me to do about the forecast for the shadows of this weekend, and it was saying, and I thought it was very interesting that the divine feminine had the card that was like the masquerade. Let me see if I got it on top. The shadow that we have to deal with is the masquerade for the divine feminine, and it kind of told me, is it right here on top? Yeah, let me go the other way. Ooh, not that way. It kind of threw me for a loop because I was like, why would the divine feminine be in this kind of energies masquerading? I said again, some of them are uh, in denial, like you had said, about all this head drama that's going on. And some of them are saying it was a split. This I got a fork and road, and some of them were saying that they were doing it, but they see the head drama going on, but at the same time, they was telling themselves to stop and to focus their focus elsewhere. So I thought that was interesting that you had said the same thing about noticing a lot of people are kind of in their divine feminine energies. Remember, we house both divine masculine and divine feminines. This is what's actually going on for the divine masculine. But they also said in our divine masculine energies that we felt colorless here. Like we're divine, but we're not able to do anything. We're just at the standstill. But we want this freedom going on there too as well. So I thought that was interesting that you had said that you pretty much picked up on what the energies are as far as our shadows is what we're dealing with. Is that our thinking and our divine masculine energies, knowing that we're divine but feeling like we can't do anything with it. We're powerless at the same time as divine feminines. The understanding we're kind of masquerading. Some of us are not really true about what's actually going on, and so that's why we're kind of getting this hit upside the head with all these energies from that and from the divine or source stating that as well. So I thought that was just a confirmation that you gave that is something that if you think not to do that, and if I hear something the same thing twice, that means we got to really consciously make an effort to make sure that we're not doing that as well. So
Keep your head right. Mind your mind.
right, right, and doing that. So yeah. So what else was it that we talked about on addictions? Did you all get any other kind of thought? I thought somebody said they had seen something about addictions. Was that you, April? You were saying that you said you seen something.
Oh yeah. So a friend of mine who was an addict, and knows that about themselves, says that the very first key to not being one is to know that you are. Is to know that you are what your addiction is, so that you know that there's something. You have a goal now. You can resource all the things you need to get through your addiction when you know you have one.
Okay, right.
Because
Okay.
if you're in denial of something, how are you going to change it, right? And so that's where self-reflection and understanding the mirrors that are for you, right? And the reason I say mirrors that are for you is because we're all mirrors and reflections of each other in this particular life experience,
Mm-hmm.
and we're reflecting something back. So if you have multiple people telling you that you have aggression, or you're coming at something aggressively, or you're being too hard on yourself, or stop talking down about these kind of things. You are nobody's going to tell you you're eating too much food. That's part of, we're maybe too nice when we tell someone, hey, I clearly see that you're upset and you've grabbed your third bag of potato chips. Step back from that crunchy ledge, my friend. Step back from that that bag of Oreos. Step back. You don't need that fifth sleeve. But just when someone has that and they want to see what's best for you, they know that you can hold yourself to better standards just for yourself. I'm not saying being so uppity that you're not acceptable, you know what I'm saying? The not judgmental person, but the person that's actually for you and wants you to succeed. And you can also take that with a grain of salt, right? With what they say, consider the source. So if they're saying something to you, it could be for your benefit, right? I always want to err on the side of people are doing their best to try to help me. It can also be that their lens is warped, right? Because sometimes our parents are trying to help us, but they're coming at us from a different perspective, old paradigm where they maybe belittled how you dressed, or how much you weigh, or the types of grades you get, like depending on where you are in the spectrum of life. But just understand that, hey, it's all love, baby. That's what we're trying anyway. We're going for that.
Right, that is our aim. Again, so again, it seems like that word again, almost like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. It would say the word of the day is denial. About that person coming to the point of understanding uh, who that I say I have a problem, I have an issue, and really taking it from there. Because if you just keep on denying that it's there, that causes a problem for you not to be able to fix it. Um, so Kathy, what do you? How do you deal with somebody that you know, a mind Jedi mind trickster that understand that? Let's go into that. That you see that they're having a problem, but they're in denial. I mean, as a friend on the outside, two things. It's a two loaded question. Two questions. One of them, if you as a friend seeing this, and what do you do as a person that know you're in a state of denial? And we're not talking about in Egypt.
Yes, you're not taking a river tour, that's for sure. Um, a lot of times with a friend, the best way to do it is almost to gently and kindly hold up the mirror to them.
Okay. Oh.
And that so they see what's going on, because you can tell them, and if they're in denial, they're not going to, I mean, you could tell them, but trust me, the minute it's you doing it, they usually have advice. So you have to gently but kindly hold that mirror and let them see, with whatever that addiction is. And with
Okay.
people that don't want to see it, I mean,
It gets kind of
really and truly, long and short of it, you pray for them. I mean, really, that's about all. Because until they're ready to either admit it or to see it, there's nothing you can do. I've had people that have come for hypnotherapy that, they don't want to lose weight, but other people want them to lose weight for their health, their families. Like, we're worried about you. We want this. We want that. If they're not worried about, I can do hypnotherapy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's not going to change because they don't want to change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's the bottom line to any addiction. You can't make yourself or anyone else change their behavior and you're ready to. Sometimes, unfortunately, it takes some people hitting rock bottom or having to take a good long look in a mirror. And I don't mean like always a physical mirror. I mean a reflective, look at where my life is, or look at what has happened due to my, my addiction to shopping, or my addiction. Look at the fact that my joints, my bones, so many things are worn down due to the fact that I have worked out for so many years, for so many hours, and took all this fat off my body. And I never gave the muscles a chance to rebuild. And now it's just bone on bone grinding. That's when they're going to take a look. You've been telling them for years, but until they are ready to take that look or ready to listen, they're not going to.
Oh.
so.
Unfortunately, the bottom line with addiction.
It was kind of a joke, but you got to know when to hold them, know when to hold them,
No.
and know when
Hold
to
them.
walk away.
Know when to run. You got count.
Know when to run.
Woo! When you're sitting at the table, yes,
When the
until the
day.
day's done.
That's my song. Go, Kitty. Long live Kitty Rogers. Okay, I'm finished.
Don't forget to tip your waiters and bartenders, folks. We'll be here all week.
Long live Kitty
You
Rogers.
know, what helped me like look at situations that were really, really bad, I guess, because nobody really wants to say, oh, I was addicted to, or addiction itself is a really negative connotation, right? So there can be a level of ego or shame about it when you start to confront these things within yourself. And I'm going to go with certain types of negative, like self-talk or behavior. And one of the things was learning to laugh at myself, learning to laugh at certain situations. Like, whew, if I never would have done that, I never would have been able to look at this other perspective, see it from that side, you know? When someone is going through their suffering and they think that they're stuck in a victimization cycle, um, it's really painful, right? And it's painful for them because they're in this cycle. So when you approach someone, like Kathy D was saying, and you want them to hear you, you come from that space of kind of knowing. Now, if it's something like drug addiction, you know, it's going to be a little bit colder and harsher, the reality that you're sharing with your friend or beloved or whomever you're being there for. But you want to be authentic and you want to be present. And you say, I don't really know what you're going through exactly, but I know that my addiction is XYZ, or I talk to myself and I do my best to get out of that. Now, I know that there's something different, that's something chemical when you're getting off of a drug addiction. And that itself is one thing. But I remember you when you weren't using. I remember how much light, or I remember how much love, or where you were. And this isn't you. This isn't your forever. So when you come at it, it's like, when you come out of this stage, you're going to be able to look back and say, oh man, you now know how to help people, right? I mean, does that make sense? I feel like I did a little bit of a circular thing there, but just to empower them to be themselves and let them know that, hey, you're going to look back at this and say, man, I must have looked freaking crazy when I was all strung out.
Right.
And that's pretty, like, whoo, I look bad. Like, I remember looking at some of the pictures after I got divorced, right? I was so sad. Like, it was the saddest I've ever seen myself, that it made me laugh. Like, it really did. It made me laugh. And I was like, I can't believe I put myself through something so harsh. I look so sad. Sadder than the little kid who'd been waiting all day for the ice cream. And then the ice cream, like, falls on the ground. And then the dog comes and licks it up. Just the saddest. And I had such a love and empathy for myself, but I laughed so hard. And if you can kind of bring into that sense of self-love and also like, oh, baby, to yourself, then you can get through any addiction. You can get through anything as long as you have compassion and love for yourself and can laugh.
And that's really important too, what April said about having compassion and love for yourself, because there are going to be people around you that don't want to see you get well, that don't want, and whatever it is, if it's I know Kiki's got a real good question coming up too, but they don't want to see you, especially if they feed off of that. I know, so many times me finding my voice wasn't the most popular thing in the world to the people around me, because before it was just, yes, dear, yes, dear. And now it's, no, that's not right. And this is why it's not right. Because it makes them take kind of inventory of what's going on in their life. And it can kind of put that mirror up for the people around you. So that's where the compassion for yourself and compassion for somebody else is trying to change any kind of, even if it's not per se addiction, but borderline addiction, anybody that has like, some bad habits that they're trying to kick, then you need to be with them with love and compassion, because there are going to be people that are not wanting to see them get rid of these bad habits, become a better person. And that's part of the cycle with addictions. That's why it's so easy to go back, because you can either align yourself with those people that are like, yes, you got this, girl, you go,
Mm-hmm.
and those are the ones that are going to be there with that, oh, baby, we don't have any ice cream, but, it's a pudding pop here, honey, trying to give you an ample replacement for what you lost. And then there are going to be others that are like, oh, you don't need that. Come on, one of this, or let's just go to the gym. You'll feel better. Let's, or, talking you into or making you feel bad if it's a people pleasing thing, a codependency thing. They're going to use that against you. And that's where you have to be so strong when you're kicking these addictions, because they're definitely, I think on this one, I think everybody can kind of agree. There's definitely the good and the bad and the ugly. And, the bad are, they're just ready to take you the other way. And the good, they're trying to help you, but it's definitely a divided team. And the people that are just gray and neutral, you want to stay away from them because they have no concern either way about you. They really could care less what happens.
No, I think it was Les Brown had a saying like, when you talk to people, 10% of them don't care and 70% of them glad it's you, and the other, that's 80. So and the other 20% is like maybe for you. So it's like, why have the conversation anyway? I remember you saying that. I was like, oh dad, what kind of ratio is that?
That's the first time I've heard that, and thank
Yeah,
you for
I like
sharing.
that. I know.
got my numbers off, but whatever it is, it came down to they weren't really caring too much, and they was glad it was you.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to them. Whatever ratio, I might be off, but I always remember that. I'm like, dang, no, they like really honestly, they just listed, and this good percentage said, "Woo, thank God I ain't got that," and they gone. That's all. That's all on you. But you brought up a very good point about them not wanting to see you excel, because that makes them have to do something. They have to fix themselves, and so that's that crab in the barrel. So that's why you have to really again watch the company that you keep again, because some of them might be but at the same time try a little bit that, and that goes along the line, especially when you're a divine a twin. You'll find yourself those things no longer suit you. They don't understand that, those codependencies or addictions that you have that you used to exhibit. You find yourself kind of, those people fall away, and you find yourself having new friends that you have to create as well. So
It's like
you just got to get ready for the newness, and you have to kind of still at the same time just kind of hold on, put your seatbelt on and buckle and get ready for the bumpy ride that those friends that you have. And plus also they tell you that, I remember watching the movie, I haven't been to a AA meeting, but they tell you that you can't go around the same places and people when you recovering alcoholic. That's out. That's OUT out. You can't
Mm-hmm.
go back to that lifestyle. You can't go back to friends. You can't hang out with them as well. So that's the same thing like what you having those addictions. If going to DSW and you got a shoe fetish, I think you shouldn't go open up the doors and go walking in there. I don't think that's
Especially if they're having the sale.
especially having said that, oh, they got to sell. I just want to have one little pet. And before you know, you're walking out there by 3 or 4, 5 different bags. See, you have to tell yourself, I can't go there. That's nice. And keep it walking. So tell yourself you can't get any more on the email list for DSW as well. So that's something else that you have to take. But Kiki brought up a very good thing. What is addiction and codependency the same?
Yeah, you can definitely be addicted to codependency. It's called people pleasing. And I believe, codependency is that people pleasing addiction. So I think sometimes codependency is its own name for it, depending on how you handle codependency. And codependency can be very individualized for the person.
well, is Stockholm like a level of codependency? Where
No, I don't think, no, because you're not doing anything to support what they're doing. You're not helping them kidnap anybody. You're just falling in love with your kidnapper.
it's actual love. Okay, sorry.
Well,
Back to
that's what they
codependency.
say it is.
Back to codependency.
You get stuck with anybody long enough, but
Well, I mean, just
but I think
stuck in that abusive cycle, like where you kind of make excuses for the person that abuses you.
yeah,
That's still people pleasing,
that's
or
exactly it. That is because you're seeing a different side of what everybody else is seeing. With a lot of times with codependency, with that, you're seeing their potential, Well, everybody's got amazing potential. I mean, look at a baby. We're not born with any fears but loud noises and being dropped. There's never been a baby that says, "Oh no, you know, take this banana away. It has too many calories," or "Please take this cute little onesie off me that says, rock me, mama, because it might make me look fat." They're just laying there having a great time. You've never seen a child that was um, afraid of, fire or, things like that, because that's why we have to teach them. No, hot. They don't have those fears. They're not born with them. They have this just amazing confidence. And with the codependency, we then only see that infantile, amazing confidence that they could be, even though everybody else around us sees it. But we make up excuses and things like that to cover up what's actually going on.
Okay, I want to go back and revisit. What is the textbook psychologist's definition of addiction? Do you know that off the top of your head?
Not off the top of my head, but I can pull it up. So, hold please.
I'm also Googling that, or should I Google the other one? Psychology Today, huh?
Yeah, because
my favorite.
I want to see something about your theory about that Stockholm. Something I got a fork in the road on that. I don't know if I'm going one way or the other, but just out of curiosity.
Oh, now it's a matter of me spelling versus the me spelling versus the internet.
A definition like it's a matter of someone needing somebody else that need. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. According to Psychology Today, addiction is a brain disease. Dysfunction in these circuits lead to characteristic biological, psychological, social, and spiritual manifestations. This is reflected in an individual pathological pursuing rewards and or relief by substance use and other behaviors.
Okay.
So the Stockholm, could they be still?
I don't believe Stockholm falls under that because it's an environmental thing. Because if I'm not,
according to, I'm looking through different ones. Most of them say it has to do with
what the hell this got to do with
with being kidnapped, but there's also the level of being like abused children, battered women. Some lend the definition to abused children, battered women, prisoners of war, cult, incest victims, criminal hostage situations, concentration camp prisoners, and controlling/intimidating relationships. Like they'll bleed over into it, but the hard definition, I think, doesn't include kidnapping.
Okay.
But I'm looking at a few different sites right now. Cross-reference.
Yeah. Okay. And it's more of they are what they say, it occurs when a hostage or abuser bonds with their captor or abuser. So it's usually when they can identify somehow with them.
So could that in that bonding be codependency?
Yeah, I would say so, right? Because they're now seeking a reward part of the system. Like, I mean, in terms of it not being a reward, but the negative attention is still attention.
Right.
And the reward too could also be for the bonding with them, their freedom.
Right.
And helping that person. So if you've got that savior syndrome, that would be real easy to wind up with Stockholm because you're going to come in and save the day. And you're going to, save this person because they're a good person. They've been led wrong. Their mother was terrible to them, It's all these things.
Yeah, just banking on extra arms. Okay. Yeah, that's why I was just trying to say. I said, oh, it's like it's an underline. I wouldn't say it's all the way on the spectrum of when you say codependency, but it's got some addictions, codependency issues, ish, ness in there somewhere. But I wouldn't say all the way on the spectrum that it would be that's an interesting point you brought up. Yeah, that's really interesting. I
And
would
they
like
say
to.
too that codependency is a defense,
Oh, read that
Oh,
one. Let's
that
let
it's
me
a
see.
learned survival in a family experiencing great emotional pain. That makes sense. Being from a codependent generation by generation, I can definitely see how that is a learned behavior.
I'm like,
All right.
anybody not codependent? Anybody? Anybody not dealing with codependency? Could you please raise your hand in the back? In the back? In the back?
I'm
I can't see that far, but I think somebody's raising up their hand in
the
the back.
rose section and no.
No, they're just in denial if they're putting their hand up back
I
there.
got one
No,
way up
I think
there.
I'm in denial if I think I see one.
It's one way up there in the back in the corner. They raise their hand.
That little spider in the corner over there, he's
Right.
raising all 8 legs. He's not codependent on nobody.
I'm not codependent. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a party of one.
Who needs that other one? I just need him to be there.
Right.
That's the chameleons. There we go again with the chameleons.
Just breathe with me. Just
Kill their mates.
right. That's how you know. I'm just a party of one. I have no codependency issues at all.
Yeah. Like John
I
Cougar
mean,
Mellencamp says he needs a lover that won't drive him crazy. Pretty much what is it? Um something about loving them and then hey hit the highway. No, that's the chameleon's way of life.
Oh.
and codependency, it's not necessarily abusive though.
Mm-mm,
No.
So,
mm-mm.
see,
It's
now that
self-abuse.
Well, to me sometimes it's an exchange of that I get something like you say reward system. I get something out in return for it, or sometimes, and this goes both ways. It's a two-way highway sometimes, and sometimes it's a one-way highway. You feasting and getting what you want off of that person, and person might not say the same in
and,
return.
and what I was
Mhm.
thinking about is the parent-child relationship up to a certain point, right? It is codependent until in your, I guess theoretically, it's supposed to be being taught independence by your parents or by whoever your caregivers are. And
Mhm.
so, to the level that you weren't taught independence or knowing how your boundaries and all that stuff is the level of, I would say, your direct codependence when you start going into interpersonal relationships with others. So, as we start to like understand what codependency is and we see each other's kind of needs and or desires, maybe they're not aware, right?
Right.
Because it's usually the part that you don't know that you're needy, or you don't know that you're um emotionally eating. That's my favorite. The reason I keep saying that is because that's my favorite. I love I love me some food. What's that? I'm not having any Freaky Friday right now. May I have a couple ice cream bars to, anyway.
Such a foodie. Uh-huh.
And so, looking for that nurturing and that caring in other ways, and how to kind of reflect that to myself. And you know, let's say you've got an addiction. I know you're saying the addiction to shoes. Trying to think of something I have addiction to. My friend, she loves socks, so she does the same thing with like printed socks and cute little things like that. And she doesn't buy herself socks anymore. She doesn't need any socks. But after a great achievement, she'll get a pair of socks.
Right.
But she also says now I have to give another pair away.
Oh man, I ain't doing that. No.
You could put it in the. You could get a
And
rotating.
that's a great way to handle that kind of stuff is if you buy something new, you have to get rid of something you have.
Oh man.
And that helps with the shopping addiction or compulsion.
Well, if it was a different world, I'd always thought it'd be cool to do like a big online kind of trade, or like not like exactly a thrift store, but you could trade with each other. But we can't do that anymore. So it would be a good way to, like, as long as somebody doesn't ruin it, right?
Right. They got some apps that's like that too that you can trade. I thought you could give
Hmm.
stuff already. It's
Yeah.
So can we trade our addiction for something that's positive? What can we trade it for?
I said, tell you like a man that came in the house one time and dropped off some deliveries from Amazon here. He's like, well, I don't know. If you start dropping your stuff down and I start dropping my stuff down, you might find yourself taking your own addiction back. Because you might say, that's all right. You can't keep that. I kind of know how to tame mine. Yours are not so
Hmm.
not so much. Yeah. So I don't know who want to start swapping addictions like that. We don't know what kind of beast hides within that stuff.
Oh, well, I just meant a bad thing for a good thing.
Oh, for good thing. Okay, I got you. Okay.
Like for
Yeah,
negative
but who wants to
self-talk,
think the
positive,
bad thing?
huh?
Who wants the bad thing?
It's just gonna be sitting there.
Yeah.
Sometimes things just get to go out of style.
Unless that
Like, you
addiction is
don't see frilly bell bottoms anymore. They caught too many. You don't see those shoes, those platform shoes with the fish anymore. Really, you know why? Because it's certain things need to. You got some of those,
I got some clear, but they ain't got no fish in
but the ones with the fish went
I
out of
always
style.
wanted a pair with the fish.
it.
So rough. That's so rough world for a fish.
I can't breathe up in here. Free
I would
will,
feel the sloshing. I'd be
She
so
stomped her foot one more time and I'm out of here. I don't care what you say, Neem. Gone.
free willy, free willy. Free me.
but
I
that's
see a toilet down the hall. Let's go.
well, it's similar to how like smoking is going out, right? And people are, yes, they are picking up the vaping, but some people are just stopping. Like cigarettes are super. We know that they're bad 6 ways from Sunday, and we
Mhm.
collectively and societally are pushing it out.
Yes.
Similar to, and so certain things don't need to be picked up at all, but other things definitely need to be integrated in. We're now far more interested globally in organics and non-GMO foods, and so we as the collective push the pressures. So as we push the pressures of positive self-talk, body acceptance, just as we start to push these things, it spreads throughout the collective. So you can pick it, you can dream it into existence. What is it that you want to see in this world? People supporting each other, more people laughing. I think, with all the pressure of what's going on with the kind. That's what they call it here. If you don't have the name for it, you just call it the kind. But so, collectively we're all dealing with the pressures from the kind. They shut down the everything. You can't go out as much. And so with that pressure, what do we want to see once we come out of it? Right? I want to see more people smiling. I want to see more people enjoying the fact that they're alive, accepting each other no matter what differences they have. Be they be able to walk, not walk, color, skin, gender, etc. Age. We're going to come out of this as such a high vibration and so collectively um, just ready to transcend. I think as a global, as a humanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that we're going to astound ourselves what we're going to accomplish in a very short period of time, based on what took us hundreds and hundreds of years to create. Once we get through all the ego bullshit, once we get through all of the bad addictions, where you've got greed and all kinds of elitist, like, corrupt behaviors. We're not allowing people to have clean food, clean water. This is all the stuff that's coming out. So ready for the purge, everyone. The purging, the natural sloughing off of the Mother Earth. Earth is Earth is about to start her period, and it's getting real serious.
What's our new word? April, what's the new word?
Oh, it's the men psychic,
Yeah.
men
Yeah.
psychic.
Ready the new
I'm
word.
going full men psychic right now.
when you're menstruating and your psychic powers have been intensified, that is a product of that happening, that we've created that word. See how much time we got on our hands? We're creating words over here.
I'm making them up too, so don't feel bad. Oh, we've got a good comment here on the
Wait,
bottom.
okay, I can't show
It
it.
said it would be at 7:33 for you.
Okay, I can't show it on mine because I'm dual
Oh,
two.
you're in two, and I can't show it here. All right, so it says um, it's um, it's not my Benita, but it's the other one. It says my twin flame 2 years ago, and probably for many years before I met him, had a legal drug addiction and porn sex addiction. When I tried to gently talk to him about it, he was in denial and got angry. Um, says couldn't it how he hid or ran from his emotions, including guilt and shame. I pray that since our separation 2 years ago, he has been healing that aspect of himself. Me, I may have a food addiction. Um, like we said on Wednesday, if usually if a
No,
counterpart, and this for a twin flame, this goes for a soulmate, this goes for just about anybody. If you've got an addiction, if they've got an addiction, you got an addiction, and vice versa.
So
right,
typically, we also say there's like a reverse, inverse
right.
kind of a thing. So if you're possibly suppressing your, there's levels to it. Okay, so I'm using broad
Yes, there
strokes
is.
in order to approach the topic, but typically, if you're suppressing sexual urges and all of these types of things, like allowing yourself to appear fully feminine, allowing your sensuality to come out, that can push them into seeking that typically. And so they're, or you're either suppressing your creativity as well. So the things that come out of the sacral area, typically it has to do with the root issue because of not feeling secure. um, the one thing that they've really messed with a lot of males and masculine energy is warping the power and the importance of sexuality, and how it is very sacred. And so people are giving away a lot of energy and manifesting power through over ejaculation, all of these things. There's all kinds of wonderful gifts that are brought through men having semen retention. There's also a lot of gifts brought through for female orgasming, right? Because women's energies work differently than masculine energy. So they are wasting their seed, whereas we are cultivating a different style of energy once we have these expressions. And we have so many orgasms that our heartgasms particularly, and our solar plexus, because we are the windows and the keys into all of this universal energy. I am working on a course. Believe me, people. Believe me when I say I got some things you're gonna love. You will. You'll just love it. But clearing the temple, understanding why you eat what you eat, what awesome nutrition you actually need. I'm doing a program right now. Awesome. I also put it on part of my website. She'll post that up later. But it makes it easy. You don't have to do my style of program, but this kind of is a healthy, easy plug and play in terms of working into a hectic lifestyle and resetting your system. A lot of us, our hormones are off. A lot of us are dealing with suppressed memories, energies, all kinds of stuff. So I'm with you, girl, in terms of the food addiction. I love food. I have a romantic love affair with it. But I also know I'm relearning balance, relearning what my actual system actually needs. I'll take pleasure in it, but I also am relearning that balance, and that comes from a day to day. At first, at the beginning of the COVID thing, there was a whole bunch of like needing for comfort. So everybody was going mad, comfort foods, all kinds of toxic stuff. Now we're like, okay, well, wait, let's build our immune systems. Oh, okay, now that we're building our immune systems, we're starting to, but we're finding that, oh, snap, we've been depleting the earth of nutrients. We haven't been allowing the soil to really fully rebuild. Our food is not enough. We still feel like we crave because we're not getting the full spectrum. So listening to the body, yes, your body is telling you something. Yes, your emotions are telling you something. And him relearning how to balance the sexuality and not masking it with like drugs is a whole nother level. Because food, I would say, is a drug.
Oh yes.
So food, let food be thy medicine, and medicine be
Yeah,
thy
you
food.
can either eat to live or live to eat.
Can't it be a combination?
There's the food addict. No, I was playing. Look at her reason her way out of it. No, I was playing.
I'm gonna eat my way around this topic.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah, but again, it is a mirroring, making sure that you understand sometimes it's the same and sometimes it's various and it differs as far as when you're talking about the addictions as well. Trying to see, it was a point I had and I forgot till we start talking about, like, I don't know why I'm seeing Pac-Man now going around.
Waka, 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 waka.
Chomp, 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 chomp. In doing that, but yeah, I'm still seeing Pac-Man. Okay,
Was it about ghosts? Was it about a cherry?
ghosts, yeah. Doing that, but you know, that addictions thing is just like you said again. We just really, I know I watched the video. That it came to me. I knew if I mumble and it'll come back to me. That Pac-Man will go away. You have to make sure that you're also very careful, and when you're going to address people that have that or about that, because again, us being energetic and empaths and real light workers and holding the light, that a lot of times if you keep on trying to, I can see say, well, I'm gonna throw the light over there to him and I'm going to help heal him of the addictions, and I don't have the addictions but I want to help him so he can get better for us and for union. And I would say don't do that. Don't do that, because I seen and watched the video the other day where her name is Susan Inspired, that showed how you're trying to help out this person and some kind of way with the energies, it draws and it drains your light down, and before you know it, your light is much less than the other person that you're doing. So it's best to, and they're going to keep on, and they say even if you're trying to throw your power over, I'm going to do a 22 cents on that too. You throw your power over to this person and they're kind of like this, said they'll continue to be in that until, like we said earlier, until they get to the point of themselves to say, I no longer want to have resonance with this energy anymore. So you can throw all that light and Care Bear stare them all day, but until they get it for themselves to want to do that, that's it. You can say love and light, but not intentionally say, I'm going to help to change them. I always think about what my mom said, when you try to change somebody else, guarantee you're going to end up being changed in the process. And it might not be for the good thing, too. So that's something to always keep in mind. But I thought that was really prevalent, especially when somebody was saying about trying to help out their twin, watching especially those newbies. I heard you can shine the light and X, Y, and Z over there. You got to be very careful about how you're doing it. If it's just, I just send love and light and we keep it moving, that's fine. But if you're intentionally trying to send all that power over to them, I've done that in the past. In some kind of way, they enlightened, they're high, and then I'm drained in the process. We didn't seesaw. We didn't exchange energies. He like this, I'm now down like this. And I'm like, what the what? So I would not suggest you to be Care Bear staring and light over that away to your counterpart in that for that addiction thing, unless you know they are ready to receive it. If they're in that addiction and like, no, they like the four rings, my precious, my sex, my drink, my drug, whatever it is, and they like in that mode, I would say, ooh, back away and leave them alone, because there's no way you're going to be able to reach them like that until they're ready to get up out of that energy that they're in at that moment.
But the nice thing about, with that being said, is remember, you know, the divine masculine is coming back changed. He's not the same person. So as we're going through this changes, as we're clearing out these things, the stuff at the bottom of the coffee pot, you know, some of that is our addictions. Some of that is, you know, the things we don't want to face. And as we're cleaning it out and they're cleaning it out, when they come back, it is either going to be that they're to the point where they're ready to get help and they acknowledge it, or that during the vacation / separation, they have handled it, dealt with it, and got the proper to um, kick the addiction. So we have to keep that in mind. We can't, I mean, what we see 3D, we have to remember is very much an illusion. That there is, a lot going on behind the scenes, especially when we don't see anything moving, is when things are actually, big things are happening. And so always, where, yes, we need to acknowledge if they have an addiction, that we need to step back and look at ourselves and see where our addictions are. But then we also have to remember that they're coming in totally different, just like we are. And if you have been on this journey for any amount of time, I highly recommend going back and looking at some wonderful things you did before you started this journey. And you will look at yourself and be like, dear God, no wonder everybody ran screaming from me. I was a lunatic.
That's true.
And we've all done it. I know it was one day, my soul sister Benita and I sat out on the patio and went through some stuff, and we're like, whoo, they weren't running. They were running for safety, so that's always some of it. So we have to always keep, like April says, we want to keep that positive vibe. We want to keep that good ideas, and we want to envision those wonderful and positive things. What you focus on is what you get. You focus on the negative, he'll never kick that addiction. He's had that addiction all his life. He's always been, addicted to, fast cars and tiny women or something like that. That's just always been his thing, and he always will be his thing, and that'll just be, well, you're just manifesting it. You're making it right there as it is, so it'll be. But when you say things like, I am so excited he's going to, realize what a real relationship is, and things like that, then you're putting that positive spin on it. You're not belittling him by focusing on his addiction. You're raising him up to what he is and not his potential, because everybody has wonderful potential, but that moral fiber, if you have spent any time with them on the 5D and in that connection, their moral fiber, what they truly are capable of. If they are a person of their word, if they are loyal, if they are caring, that that if push comes to shove, this person is going to be there. Then, that's what you have to focus on. You can't focus on these addictions and these things in the past. You can be there to help them. You can be there to raise them up and support them, but not belittle them by, oh, you've got this, make them feel like you can, like we said on Wednesday, you can tell them, that's your thing, and I don't like it. I don't like it around me. And, you're more than welcome to be around me when you can and when you want to, but until that's shook, don't come around me with it.
Yeah, I like that aspect of saying that they will, because I think of, and have something else. Spirit kept on saying, don't think that they stay there forever. I've always, one person that I've always have admired. Well, I had a crush on him too. Is Robert Downey Jr. Something about the big eyes. I've just always liked. Just men with big eyes. Period. But anyway, I digress. Squirrel coming back. So, with them. And his, if you do know the actor, about his life, where he started at a young age. I think his father was in Hollywood, director. And then all the time they had parties around. People were leaving open drinks, and that's when he started his journey to alcoholism. He kept on doing that, drinking all the way through, even through his career. It started escalating into other things, dabbling in the drugs and other aspects. But each time he would do it, he get thrown in jail. I'm gonna do better. He come back out again, and the next one. So the next, I think Judge told me, he's like, okay, that's it. He put him in there so he could get himself straight. He kind of teeter-totted a little bit better, but when it got to the point, and that goes back to what you all were saying, it's got to be something within him that makes that change. And I think when he said it was his wife, when his wife came to him and said that this has got to stop. Otherwise I'm gonna divorce you, because I can't keep on doing this no more with you, going back and forth. And that caused him to make the change. And then when he started to have kids, that really solidified for him, and his career started going off. He did Iron Man and all that other kind of stuff. So that goes back again. It's that I wish I knew what that term is, and it helped me because I remember that in psychology. It's that trade off of that reward. Again, it's got to be something greater in order for you to say, okay, you can have this addiction to pop, you could take that, and so now I take the trade off with this. Is this being that? It's got to be that trade off. It's got to be something greater than themselves or greater than what they're dealing with to make them say, I can give it up. And so that's what it's saying. We just pray at that time for the person that has addictions or something that they're going through, that trade off something within it will click to say, okay, I'm greater than this addiction, or this trade off of me having a family or me being with my divine feminine is much greater than me having sex with X, Y, and Z randomly. I don't want to have that. I don't want to bring that into my connection. I want to let that go. That's the trade off. Sex, bye bye, but a great love, yes, I can grab that. So you have to wait until they click within themselves again for them to understand that great trade off that's coming as well. But it can be done because I remember that because I love Robert Downey, and I was like, is he gonna ever stop it with this drinking and drugging? And when he did it, I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus, and for that. So it does happen. I mean, that's just to me a real life example of how somebody all the way, and we talked about addictions from the brain. It already got reset from childhood, from him starting drinking from that point on. So I know with him, he said it's a conscious decision that he has to make daily, every day, for him to, make the choice and not to do that, to slip slide, to go into old behaviors, old habits as well. So that's just something else to add on to that. So they do, yes, there is a Santa Claus, Margaret. So there is a way that again for them to get out of that. Yes, most definitely. Was there
Also,
any comments?
also, I would say on the other side, it's like you are worthy of a healthy love. You are worthy of a balanced love. You are worthy of this connection, this higher connection. And it's not so much about them and their addiction at that point. It's about you preserving that self love, self worth, and self understanding and compassion. And we often want to take this pain away from them or take this issue out of them, but that's not for us in our lesson set. Our lesson set is to remain strong in our self love and our self worth and understanding the situation, but not putting up with any type of suffering that's caused because of an addiction or because of them not fully understanding how to balance and guide their themselves and their emotions. And
Hmm.
sometimes they need to do that, or absolutely they need to do that either on their own, or you can be, supportive if they accept that. If they want a cheerleader, you can help with the cheerleader thing. That's, I'm not up to. I don't judge what they're into. All I'm saying is remembering that you are you are worthy of that, to have that healthy love. Now, I'm not saying be so stuck up that you don't accept them or don't accept, what's going on, or building walls so high so that nobody can really enter into your heart. These are other scapegoating techniques for this, but accepting that yes, this person does have a flaw. They do either need to step aside or we can work together. It's all about what your individual path is, what your individual stake is in it. And sometimes that's not even your other. Maybe it's you're working with your other's ex. Maybe you're working with your other's parents, or the kids are having issues. It can come in so many different forms
True,
and
true.
rails of working with the levels of addiction. It's just being there for yourself first and making sure that your cup runneth over, that you can then pour that into others.
Yes, that's a biggie. You
Yeah.
talk.
And
Uh huh.
well, the one thing too we have to remember is a lot of times, and this just kind of came to me, the divine feminine will have these addictions and not see them. And the divine masculine wants to come in and save us. And because we are so wrapped up in our addiction, we cause them to run because it's so painful for them to watch us sit in this situation that they see a clear way out of and we don't. So we have to remember, it is definitely a mirror. So it's not always the DM with this. Some of these DMs have left because they can't take the pain anymore. They're not the bad guys. They love us so much they can't take the pain anymore. And that's something that we kind of have to be mindful of. They're not like monkeys wandering around in the dark. These guys are divine. So, there's another to that. So we can be divine and we can be open to it. But if we don't see our own addictions, then we're the monkey wandering around in the dark.
But that's where you be real friends with people. That's where you be genuine with people, and you.
Right, but I'm just saying it's not always the DM that has the major addiction.
That gets the bad guy. Always plays to get bad guy.
Yeah, they're not always the bad guys. Sometimes they run out of self-preservation, or because they love you so much they can't stand to watch you destroy yourself.
Or they don't have the tools to know how to handle it, so they just like, okay, I'm out of here. This is nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna go find a replacement. Yeah.
Right. I don't do this. This wasn't in my script. Who handled this? This not in my script.
Well, they all know they got in line first, but
right. I was supposed to do this. Where did this come in at? Now she's ad-libbing. What? No. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to walk off the set. So yeah.
I don't get paid to do that. Ad-libbing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like that. Yes, April.
There's a couple of different things coming in. Like, you can be addicted to correcting yourself to the point of blinding you from actually having a genuine experience. So you're aiming at perfection so hard that you don't even shoot to play the game, or you can't miss the shot if you never shoot it. You're too busy preparing before getting there. So there's several different layers.
Yeah, I wish I could find that, but that thing is super long. We ain't got all day. But they had sent something about that app called The Pattern, which was very good about today, but I don't know if I'll be able to find that. That was speaking about what you're saying, and it all boiled down to just really self-love. They were saying, and if you at that point, if you're self-critical like that, and you find yourself thinking that other people's fault, my mom didn't do this, or people friends, or I didn't get the job, and it was like, stop looking at other people to be the source to heal up that void or that black hole that's going on within you, and start now taking ownership of yourself. Be okay with who you are, not so self-critical of who you are. Also practicing self-love as well. So a lot of times I've always equated addictions with like somebody saying, I got a black hole in me and I'm trying to fill it with something, with drinking, drugs, sex, or something like that. And now that's always been my visualization of what it is, and that's what's occurring with that. And it also goes back to, like you said, self-love and also acceptance of where you are and how you express and what you have in your talent, skills, and abilities, and not comparing yourself to others as well is very important as far as these addictions too, because I guess in some ways, like I said, it's all really, I've seen them showing me like a road. It's all going back to self-love. If you have that, then you have self-worth, you have self-value, and so you want to be falling into that hole of feeling it, that you got to fill it up with some kind of tangible or intangible thing as well.
Okay.
I'd heard a hypnotherapist interviewed today, and she was saying that the level or percentage that we love ourselves and accept ourselves is the point where people meet us. So if you only like yourself 50%, anybody else is only going to like you 50%. That's how much they are going to like us and how society is going to see us, that you're only 50% likable because you only like yourself 50%.
Ooh, I got to up my game. I want 100%.
Well, that's also
But
true.
I thought it was fascinating.
That's also true as in how much you're willing to receive, right? Like people who
Hmm.
don't like to receive compliments or who are pushing it away because they have low self-esteem, they won't hear the compliment. They'll brush it off with a sarcastic, kind of self-derogatory. Oh, you look so nice today. Oh, but I totally feel fat in these pants. You know, you're not there. You're not accepting that someone is genuinely saying that you look nice today. You've pushed that away. So that is absolutely 100% spot on. All that you are willing to appreciate yourself is all you're willing to accept from others, whether they're giving you more or not.
That's true, too.
Hmm. And the people that
That's
push
us.
away the compliments are the ones that have never received it at an early age. That's like the mother that says, this is, their kid comes to them at 6 with a drawing and says, this is a beautiful drawing, but it's 6 and it's beneath me and you bore me. And they have a nanny and they go off and do their own thing. And the child's just there to show off like a trophy or something. Well, then they get older and what do? They date women that make them feel stupid, or they find people that they that don't give them compliments because that's what they grew up with. That's what they saw at a younger age.
That or they could have been modeled. That's how you take a compliment, right? You don't take a compliment. Like if your parent doesn't they didn't know how to do it, everything that you have
Oh yeah.
that you have, your parents probably gave to you or somebody modeled to you. Or
Right.
even yourself, you could have learned it just to fit in with a group that you were trying to hang out with. You could have learned a behavior pattern that you're not even consciously aware of, like the
Mm,
backhanded compliment. Some people don't even realize that that's what they were taught to give, you know, and they think they're being nice, or just there's so many different ways to analyze the self. The point is to be able to get into the present and enjoy raising our vibration so that we can bring in our dream reality. I mean, if we really work, because the time stamp on this is the Pisces full moon in 2020. If we really work with this, we can bring in the dreams into the reality sequence. It's just a matter of holding that energy and that focus. If we're holding that lower vibration of that mucky heaviness, um, we aren't seeing that we're not at the end of this particular chapter or this particular phase. This is just the rough part. This is just the pressure that's making the diamond. So how do you want to shine? How do you want to be seen? And you can hold yourself in that light without putting yourself down for being where you are at. Like let's say you've got yourself moved, you're financially secure, you talk lovely to yourself, you're doing all the things appropriately, but right now you don't feel that
mm,
because maybe you didn't get the job you thought you were going to get, or maybe you can just see the muck around you. Just realize that this pressure, start feeling your way into this positive momentum, this positive going. Trust the universe is building you into the space you're creating. And whatever you're looking for, you will find. So if you're looking for that negative or that harsh, you're going to find that negative and that harshness. If you're looking for
that
that
is true.
positive and that light, you will gravitate towards it, and it will gravitate towards you, just like Kathy D was saying. It's matching the vibrations of the universe, matching. It matches you always. Now, you may have some harsh stuff hit you, even though you've been thinking positive. But if you've been thinking negative for the past, 20 years, give it some time to catch up, right? Give it some time to catch up because you want to be able to. You got to hold that vibration.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a little exercise. If you guys are
All
ready for, I'm not going to keep it too long. So everybody, bubbles up, eggs on. Okay, here we go. Just go ahead and wake up your hand chakras. This is we're turning our healing hands on. All right. We let the energy flow in from the core of the earth up to the heels of our feet. You can tap those if you want to wake them up to the floors and from the to the the heels of your feet and through your ankles, your knees, your hips, your root. Go ahead and squeeze that and up to the sacral, the solar plexus, through the heart, and out through the arms, elbows, wrists, hands. Start to warm up those hands. Start to allow the energy to flow in those hands. Start to wake up those fingertips. Everything should start to get a little bit, ooh, I feel it electrifying. Okay, pull in deep from the universe, pull in a white light energy, pull it in through the crown, a third eye, ah, the throat. Everybody move your jaws a little bit, move your face. You want to let those channels open up, let that energy shoot in, through the throat, down to the heart where they connect into out the shoulders and the elbows and the wrists and the hands. Still, all this energy is flowing through you. The energy from heaven, the throat fall through your crown to your feet, and the energy up from the earth to your crown. Allow it just kind of circulate in your system. Allow your hands to wake up, and I want you to put your hands over your solar plexus. And I want you to start to build the energy like this. Building, like you're gathering it in. You're pulling in the energy. Pull it in. Pull it in. Allow this energy to start growing. Kind of squeeze your abs a little bit. Relax. And squeeze your abs a little bit more. And relax. And let this energy just build. And start pulling it in from all directions to your solar plexus. You have all this power gathering. You are motivated. You are determined. You are here in light and love. You are bringing in exactly everything you need. Your vibration is matching and getting harder, louder, bigger, stronger. Your energy is just growing. I know, right? I know, right? I was like, hotter. Uh-oh. I think this is about to make me fine. It is. Okay, so your solar plexus should be feeling kind of full right now, kind of full and light, and love. And I want it. It's like that little energy ball should be feeling full and this golden light, just drawn to you. Power is just drawn to you. And now that your chakra is just bursting, I want you to shoot that energy down to your sacral. Go ahead and squeeze your lower abdomen and down to your root. Squeeze your lower tantien and then relax. And let this energy that you just started drawing into you, let it shoot down into your solar and down out through your root, your knees, your hips, your feet. You feel it just rolling through you. So now that the energy is activated, I want you to take your hands and hold it by your crown. Just allow your third eye to clear. Clear any doubt, clear any confusion. I want you to anchor in this clarity. And I want you to shoot as your crown and your third eye start to fill. Those chakras get so full of energy, they just shoot down in to your spine, in through your core, through your throat. It's kind of picking up some momentum at your heart, and they add to the solar plexus, and it just starts shooting down further and faster, further and faster. You start to build it, and the universe takes over. The universe just beams light down through your crown, in through your third eye, down your throat, through your heart. It picks up momentum, starts spinning and spinning down to the solar, out to the sacral. Go ahead and squeeze your lower abs and your lower tantien again. Kind of curl your feet and relax. Just allow that energy to shoot, pour through you. Pour through you. Breathe that in. This is you on your higher vibration. This is you working in that frequency of light. This is you being able to see what is it that you are ready to release. What is it that's no longer serving you? If you're feeling any stiffness in your body, I want you to slightly start to rock back and forth, start to spiral in the hips. Just breathe that in, breathe it in. And now I want you to circle the energy back up. So instead of shooting it into the earth, we're now going to channel that energy back into ourselves like a big donut. So the energy goes through, up from the crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar, sacral, root, knees, feet and circles back around the crown, third eye, throat, heart, sacral, root, knees, feet, crown, heart, sacral, root, feet, crown, heart, solar, root, feet, crown, heart, root, feet, crown, feet, crown, feet, crown. And breathe. Just allow that energy to just flow. Okay. Now come back into the body, come back to the space, come back to now. Put your hands over your heart, bring yourself closer, bring yourself into the now. You have worked and cleared a lot. I can feel our vibrations doing it together, feeling this space full of light. Now allow yourself to just be open to what yours has to say within your egg of protection. Here we go. Plug and play. You are set. You are ready, set, go.
Yes, yes. Put these shades down real quick. Okie dokie. Any final words before we get out of here? Any final words? No final.
We love you. You're doing a great job.
Yes, I like that. And you get an A for today. Because you're fabulous. You're a superstar. And you're
Mhm.
dope. I like that. Woo!
Proud of you for deciding to do this journey, to be you.
Yes,
We are thankful.
we are thankful. All right, then, as we end on our journey of being in the Sandbox, all right, make sure that you hit one of these ladies. Let's start off with you. Made for this goldenlife.com. She did that fabulous meditation, helping us to get into our body, clearing, centering, making sure that we're grounded. And if you need some more, especially with these energies that's going on, and you say, "Oh, I like that. I never felt so grounded and anchored in my life." Guess what? Mosey your way over to madeforthisgoldenlife.com. Miss April Williams over there at Golden Lifestyles Unlimited. She will hook you up. Come
Yeah,
on now.
we got some sales going still carrying over. I may maybe let him go till the Pisces full moon because
What
I'm
is
feeling
that?
romantic like that. It's the 2nd September.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm,
Okay.
whew, it's a doozy. It's gonna start to get dreamy and surreal. Like people, the stuff, the levels with the Pisces, they're just straight magical. Anyway.
Woo, yeah, because the Pisces anyway, that's the romantic of
I
all the
feel
signs. They're romantic. Romanticism. All righty then. And then we got our own pineapple, fish, life,
it.
coaching, dot com. Our own Jedi mind trickster right here to get that mind right, to get it all together so you can be able to live your daily life successfully and effectively. Make sure you hit up this lady right here, Kathy D, so you can make sure that you can get the tools that is needed in order for you to have a prosperous, successful, and effective life. All right. So you got any specials? Anything you're doing? It's your time to plug. Is there anything going on with you?
Not right. Just trying. Not right now. Just trying to keep my eyes open. Made it through the first week of school. So that's about the extent of it. I do want to send out a big hi to my beautiful big sister, Tammy, who made it to watch tonight and
Yay,
is very excited. So
Tammy!
mwah, to everybody in Indiana. So lots
Yeah,
of love.
right.
Woohoo!
Oh, I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you and have you over here at the playground experience. Thank you for joining us. I hope to see you in the playground, in the play lot again. All right, don't be your last time. All right, then. And then we also have me, Divine Unisouls, 11.co. You can get me for readings, my transformational readings, and then also for my love letters. And then you also have the union time frame reading, so you can know when you're getting to union, whichever way you want yourself, a project, mission, with your person, make sure you come over and mosey over to divineunisouls11.co. And we also have a program collectively together where we put all of our powers together to be able to help you elevate and ascend to the next level. You come up with the concept, you come up with the program, and we'll come up with the program for you. So you got your spirit, you got your body, body. You got your mind right there. No, that's not how I do it. I'm more, but you have to understand this is like TV land, the mirrors, so I can't tell which way is what. So yeah, so also, so you get all three of us together, 1 hour each, and so again, maybe we'll take this too into the Pisces season, and after September the 2nd, prices will be going up. So if you want to get in on that stuff, let's head mosey your way over there to divineunisouls11.co. We had a lot of success stories. We've had people that had not spoken to their significant other, and they had a breakthrough on that one as well. And we have also had them say they moved light years just in the time we worked with them as well. And they said that they see transformation going on. So we do have our success stories as well. All right then. So okay. Okay, all right then. So as usual, also let's get us on out of here. What you got, Kathy D? Tell us. Oh, also don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe to the station so you can find out when we're going live and other great things that we're doing here on the playground. All right, I'm finished with that. Get us on out of here, Kathy D.
All right. Don't forget grab your own virtual bucket when leaving the sandbox. Get all the sand out of your shoes and socks before putting them back on. Clean up any of your virtual juice boxes or mess that you've made. Leave it a cleaner place than you found it. And we will see you next time on the playground. Wishing you the best life ever. See you real soon.
All right, April Williams.
Stay blessed, stay golden, and remember you were made for this golden life.
Yes, all right. And as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascending. Namaste, namago. Love y'all. See you the next time to the Sandbox edition.